Hey,
with the
Carlos.
Quran demand.
Carlos, I'm so sorry.
But the president has to pick it up. Thank you.
We have some breaking news. Otherwise, I wouldn't cut you off so abruptly. Carlos Warner, thanks for joining us.
Let's get now.
Your images of Earth are paintings. They're CGI. It's not proof. There's still no real-time video or film of your Earth as a ball doing one day spin. Just 1 day spinning. Just 1 day in real time, 24/7. I mean, even that. Forget the 7-Eleven 24/7 camera surveillance on the planet from a distance where we could see it and watch how the entire thing operates scientifically. If I were to spend trillions of dollars on an agency, the most valuable result of all these technological endeavors and feats and innovations of sending equipment at high altitude, at far distance from the Earth, would be to have a camera watching the weather patterns as they really unfold on that real ball Earth model. We don't have that. Time's up. There's a serious fraud going on right now in every space agency worldwide. And it's time human beings turn off the TV, stop believing CGI, and ask yourself, how come we can't see the Earth in its total global form, as purported allegedly through scientists, pundits, experts for centuries, with the camera technology and aerospace technology of today? We cannot have 24-hour surveillance of the weather patterns at a distance forming in the skies of our Earth as a ball. They've stolen your money because that is so invaluable to studying the Earth if it's a ball than anything they've done. Anything. To be able to see the Earth from space and tap in any human being to see the weather clouds form over their town or their region or their state or their country during the night, lightning storms, all sorts of weather phenomenon, to know how the tornado started, how the hurricane started, so we could all be privy and we could all know this transparent, open, scientific evidence of what happened in the sky today. You would think, you would imagine, somebody would say, excuse me, what if we had a camera watching the whole thing? We could study the Earth or the globe. You'd think somebody, if I'm the first to ever ask that question, well then we are seriously asleep here. The scientific community is asleep. The elected officials or selected officials are lying to you or asleep.
Those chemtrails were, and that object of interest. And so going forward, bam, right there. There's my object. Confirmed. And this is the same airport, Honolulu. This is at 2:30, 3:30 in the afternoon. Looking to the west. And this is what they were hiding all day, or trying to hide. Something about pulling out your own camera, and even though, I mean, this is very compelling and everything, it's just something about pulling out your own camera and and seeing the object yourself or film it yourself. So, sure enough, look at that thing rolling over. Look at that. Unbelievable. Alright, this is just so unbelievable. I decided to zoom in on it and show it to you a little closer up. I mean, there is no doubt that that is a planet that is rolling. It has ridges, it has craters. I mean, this is, once again, irrefutable. It really is.
December 2015, the finding of 2 habitable exoplanets orbiting Wolf 1061 only 14 light-years away changed that belief. 8 months later, in August 2016, scientists found Proxima Centauri b located in the Goldilocks zone. Centauri is our closest star and is only 4.2 light-years away. 2 weeks ago, I pointed to these 2 recent findings as proof that we must not be alone, and wondered what we may find in 2017. Just hours ago, the world was shocked by what we just found. 7 Earth-like planets orbiting 1 red star 39 light-years away. 7 rocky planets possibly with water like the Earth. Although the farthest one, TRAPPIST-1H, may be too cold to have liquid water, the closest 3 may be too hot. But numbers E, F, and G seem to be perfect to harbor life. This finding is revolutionary because this proves what we knew and believed about alien life was all wrong. Take the Drake equation as an example. The equation may be right, but now we know the average number of planets per star has changed. And the average number of potentially life-supporting planets has changed. What do you think the new estimate of planets with life should be? Don't forget, the 7 planets are only what we observed. What about the ones we do not see? Since we have a telescope powerful enough, new findings are popping up faster than from a popcorn machine. Do you know how many dwarf planets we found? Do you know how many exoplanets we found? The only 2 things we have not found is planet Nibiru and the killer asteroid. When 1061 Wolf B, C, and D were discovered, I thought they may be the source of alien crop circle messages. In 1974, a message was sent to space with the following messages. Number 1, the numbers 1 to 10. Number 2, the atomic numbers of the elements hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus, which make up deoxyribonucleic acid, our DNA. The formulas for the sugars and bases in the nucleotides of DNA. 4, the number of nucleotides in DNA and a graphic of the double helix structure of DNA. 5, a graphic figure of a human. The dimensions are physical height of an average man and the human population of Earth. 6, a graphic of the solar system indicating which of the planets the message is coming from. 7, a graphic of the Arecibo radio telescope and the dimensions of the transmitting antenna dish. The message consisted of 1,679 binary digits. Approximately 210 bytes were transmitted at a frequency of 2,380 megahertz. The message may be too difficult for people like us to comprehend, but they obviously meant to send it to an entity much more intelligent than you and me. This message was long forgotten until August 21st, 2001, when an answer appeared in the form of a crop circle in Chilbolton, England. The message stated that they are made of silicon instead of carbon, with an extra DNA strain and have changes in the number of nucleotides. They seem to be shorter but with a big head. At the spot where we showed our radio transmitter, they showed a crop field, as that was how best to send the message to us. And instead of our Earth being the third rock from the sun, they showed they occupied the third, fourth, and fifth planets in their system, while the message was from the fifth rock. It sounded too good to be true, right? Most scientists call what they can't explain a hoax, so no endorsement on this alien graphic yet. However, 3 rocky planets. Doesn't that sound like the 3 planets we found in December 2015? Remember, 1061C is definitely in the Goldilocks zone, while 1061D is right on the edge. 1061B may be too close to the sun, but how do we know it is not a hotbed for some hotties? But now compare this graphic with the newly discovered TRAPPIST-1 system with a crop circle answer. The crop circle showed 9 planets instead of 7. But maybe there are planets we have not found yet. We did not discover our own dwarf planet Eris till 2005. Please note that the Arecibo answer showed a crop circle sender living in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th planet of their solar system. Isn't that a great match with what we found in TRAPPIST star system? The TRAPPIST existence shows aliens from a solar system like TRAPPIST may have sent us this message in 2001.
Is there any significance with the announcement that NASA just made? They came out with the announcement about the exoplanets, as they're calling it.
Well, for almost only the last 2 years or so, that they jumped on the bandwagon and are now misindoctrinating the people that it is possible for a planet to exist. Since 1992 to just 2 years ago, they were almost literally attacking people who were making the claims that there's another planet. So now they're seeding the minds of the public that it's possible, strongly possible. They say there's as many as 10 exoplanets. You know, they think that they'll find. Well, from going from there's none to 10 now. Now, if that's not a 180-degree reversal, I don't know what is. There is strong evidence, and has been since the turn of the previous century, that there is a planet that is entering our solar system, and it's giving us effects as we're seeing today. When you look at exponential growth on the earthquakes and exponential growth on all these items, the magnetic north is moving at 12 times its normal speed. Earth's tilt is off by 4 degrees. The sun's tilt is off by 6 degrees. That's not counting some of the other planets. All the planets are warming up. What affects a magnetic field of Earth? Maybe another magnetic field?
So everything that's happening with all the planets, essentially, based on scientific method, is going to affect Earth. I mean, there's really no way of separating the two. If something's happening with the other planets, it is going to affect us on Earth. That's what you're saying, based on science.
Drastically.
And so what we're going to see here, if I'm not mistaken, and this has been my theory, that when Planet X does come into play, when we are in close proximity, we are going to be feeling the shifts or the effects. And you're saying we're already experiencing the effects with the earthquakes in diverse places, the volcano situations. Wildlife. I mean, we've got wildlife doing some very strange things. Fish are showing just whole groups of fish dying. We're seeing a lot of very strange things, which we would all agree that these are signs of the times. But you're saying that this is attributed to what's taking place in space.
Without a doubt. Look, orbital mechanics tells us an object of this size with the orbital path of what the Asian astronomers get with entry and exit of 150 days, roughly 5 to 7 times the diameter of Earth. Kepler's laws of planetary motion tells us when it reached the edge of our solar system, Neptune or Pluto, whichever, it would take 16 years to reach the sun. Well, go back and look at what's been taking place 16 years ago and watch the elevation of all these things, from the magnetic north to the bird and fish kills to the earthquakes to the volcanoes to the strange weather patterns that we have, to the tilting of the earth, to the tilting of the sun, to the orbital paths of planets being perturbed. There's only one item that answers all of these questions that could affect all of these realms simultaneously. If you had any one or two of these set aside getting, kind of high, that's not a problem. But all of these, none. There's only one answer, an inbound planet.
And on the timeline, we see that this inbound planet has shown up, you're saying 14 times documented in Scripture, but you have to know how to look for it. It's not something that the average person is just going to read over and they're going to say, oh, that's Planet X. You're saying you've got to do diligence.
They didn't have modern terms like for meteor shower. They called it fiery hail. They didn't state that it was the third object, because you have to understand you can't have a double eclipse in a natural. They would call it Baal. They would call it many terms like this. Most of the pagan gods that you hear about throughout history are actually the names that they gave this inbound planet as it passed, if it came within sight. Remember, it doesn't always pass close to Earth. We found at least 3 to 4 times that it passed close to Earth, close enough to where Earth tilted 26 to 28 degrees. The so-called pole shift of 180 degrees, there's no evidence to prove that Earth flipped 180 degrees. The magnetic north is flipped, but not the geographic north. The geographic north has tilted 26 to 28 degrees. That's one of the reasons why you have these ice ages. Because when it tilts, it doesn't go back to its original position. It's off about, on average, 7 degrees. You see, so you have a new North Pole of about 7 degrees off from what the past is. This happened at least 3 to 4 times in the past. Because our seasonal changes are determined by the tilt of the Earth. We're closer to the sun in the wintertime than we are, at least the northern hemisphere is. We're closer to the sun in the wintertime than we are in the summertime. But why do we have cold weather? Because it has everything to do with the tilt of the Earth. The tilt is what controls your seasonal swings. Guess what? Earth tilt is changed by 4 degrees. So it gives you a warmer winter. It gives you extreme seasonal swings.
Which we're experiencing right now.
Globally. Yes.
There's the sun. See if I can zoom in. There's the sun, and there is the sun. Wow, that is amazing. The sun and the sun. Cause see, I'm an amateur at this shit. The sun. There's the sun, and it's a little cloudy over there. Sun, sun, sun. There's the sun. See if I can zoom in. There's the sun, and there is the sun. Wow, that is amazing. The sun and the sun. Cause see, I'm an amateur at this shit. The sun. There's the sun, and it's a little cloudy over there. Sun, sun, sun.
Más probable que fue un fenómeno natural, o sea, se dio un crecimiento masivo de algas, que es un afloramiento, y eso provocó un gasto de excesivo de oxígeno, y eso hace que los animales que están aquí en gran cantidad se queden sin poder respirar. Pues probablemente eso es lo que podría ser de lo que tenemos ahorita, pero igual se manejaba que podía ser un contaminante.
We've been up pretty much all night since we got evacuated and keeping an eye on it.
It's not contained. It's running. I wouldn't say it's out of control because we do have resources working on it, but it is heavy material, and once it gets burning, it is hard to stop.
It's been called the greatest threat to the planet, but climate change in the US is a deeply political issue. When the Centre for Disease Control and Prevention quietly and without explanation cancelled a conference on climate health, it left many in the scientific community disappointed. But former Vice President Al Gore helped organise a new summit reflecting a determination to address issues he and many others see as crucial.
I just want to note that we do have the solutions at hand. It is hard to focus on some of these horrific consequences of the climate crisis on health, but hope is justified.
One of the more immediate challenges for environmentalists is the Trump administration's appointments of key figures like Scott Pruitt.
I'm asking your personal opinion.
My personal opinion is immaterial.
The former Attorney General of Oklahoma is likely to head up the Environmental Protection Agency, but remains skeptical that human activity causes climate change. Despite the challenges, though, many remain optimistic that globally climate change is and will be tackled.
Worldwide, governments are taking this issue seriously, so we will get on top of this. We will tackle it. The market and popular culture are moving in this direction.
CNN reports that there is currently less ice surrounding the Antarctic continent today than at any point in time since recording began in 1979. Mark Serez, the director of the National Snow and Ice Data Center, said, as of Tuesday, it looks like we hit a new record low in the satellite era. The rapid decline from record high extents of sea ice to the current low record shows a dramatic shift in climate changes. According to research scientist Walter Meyer, he says that the current low record in sea ice is too soon to call it a very credible evidence for global warming.
NASA says that last month was the third warmest January on record, and 2016 was the warmest year. Well, tonight in our Climate Diaries, Mark Phillips sees the change at the bottom of the Earth.
The U.S. Antarctic Research Base at Palmer Station has been clinging to this rocky shore since the 1960s. Here because these guys are here, the Adelie species of penguin that has nested nearby in their tens of thousands. These are the penguins that were the model for the movie Happy Feet. They're apparently not so happy anymore.
We're counting the penguins every year.
They call Sean Farry the Birdman here. Lately, he's had a lot fewer birds to count.
These local islands where we've been censusing for, I guess, 43 years now have declined by about 85%.
85%?
The numbers on this island at their peak were almost 9,000, and this year it was about 1,200.
At first, it was thought that as the weather warmed here, the penguins might have moved further south, looking for the sea ice they need to hunt from, but they hadn't.
We do work other places down the peninsula looking for them.
You're not finding them?
Correct, not finding them.
Not just the sea ice is retreating. There's a spectacular glacier next to the base that gets less spectacular every year. They keep a photo showing how it retreated from 1975 to 2013. Then, a funny thing happened. Quickly. Normally in places like this, you talk about things moving at glacial speed, taking their time. Not here. Here they know exactly when that glacier split off from this place. March 14th, 2014. This became Dietrich Island. And they've got photos as well of the moment the island emerged when the glacier connecting it to the mainland collapsed, along with the population of penguins.